So Seth Rogan has said that he doesn't understand comedians who complain about cancel culture. This is the Seth Rogan that has a severe case of TDS, the self-hating white guy. He doesn't understand what cancel culture is or why comedians complain about it. I mean, of course he wouldn't. But let's try and go through and explain it. The problem isn't criticizing jokes. The problem is going after people just based solely on I didn't like the joke that he said, or I'm offended by that. That's what people are talking about. Not about being criticized for the joke. Criticism's fine. It's the other part when you get this big mob that wants to get rid of you just for a joke. But yeah, the self-hating white guy with a severe case of TDS doesn't understand why comedians complain about it. But let's dive into it. The actor and filmmaker told Good Morning Britain that he has accepted that some jokes in his older movies have aged poorly. So what he's doing he's trying to say, oh no, don't come for me, because I've accepted that some jokes age poorly. So that's all that is. It's just trying to not get caught up in it, because he knows that eventually they eat themselves. That's what happens. But he was asked by presenter Susanna Reid what he thinks about jokes in his films that leave some people uncomfortable. And see if you're uncomfortable by a joke, don't leave the house. That's all I say to you. Don't go online. Don't do anything if you get uncomfortable at a joke. But Rogan said, I think there are certain jokes that for sure have not aged well, but I think that's the nature of comedy. Well, no, they should age well if it's funny. I think conceptually those movies are sound, and I think there's a reason they've lasted. Jokes are not things that necessarily are built to last, unless you're funny as shit. Rogan added that he neither complains about his poorly aged jokes, nor thinks of them as a big deal or an example of cancel culture. Because you don't know what it is, Seth. You don't know what cancel culture is, do you, mate? Fucking hell. To me, when I see comedians complaining about this kind of thing, I don't understand what they're complaining about. If you've made a joke that's aged terribly, accept it, and if you don't think it's aged terribly, then say that. That's not the fucking issue. What is he not understanding? The issue is that you're trying to get someone thrown out of projects and all that just for making a joke. That's the problem. The problem isn't going, oh well, it didn't age well. That's not what cancel culture is, mate. But he added, getting criticism is one of the things that goes along with being an artist. Criticism isn't the fucking point. What's he not getting? And if you don't like that, then don't be a comedian anymore. To me, it's not worth complaining about to the degree I see other comedians complaining about. Maybe because you ain't really a fucking comedian. That's maybe why you don't understand it. Asked by Reid whether he's ever had to scrub his Twitter account of less enlightened jokes, Rogan said he was never that kind of comedian. I was never a comedian that made jokes that were truly designed to target groups that was subjugated in some way. That's the old punching down shit. And he explained, have we done that without realising it? Definitely, and those things are in our movies and they're out there. And they're things that I am more than happy to say that they have not aged well. So he's just trying to get ahead in case someone comes for him. That's what he's doing. But in my career, I've never made a joke that's outwardly horrific in some way. And if you have, I would question why you did that. Because it's comedy. I've said it before and I say it again. Anything can be made funny. Saying terrible things is bad. Yeah, but see, if it's a joke, then it's not bad, is it? Because you're not actually saying something terrible. You're trying to make it funny. So if you've said something terrible, then it's something you should confront in some way, shape or form. I don't think that's cancel culture. That's you saying something terrible if that's what you've done. No, it's not. It's comedy. So you're not saying something terrible. This guy's just turned into a complete bitch. Just some beta. Just another person that's on the list of fucking actors I don't respect. Which is a big fucking list these days. I still like his films and that, but I just think he's a bit of a tit. You know, all the I'm only hiring. I'm never hiring white people again. It's like, shut up, mate. Stop trying to virtue signal. So basically hates himself because he's white for more reasons. But yeah, the guys are just, I don't know what happened to him. Just a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, the guy makes comedy films. He doesn't seem to understand comedy. He thinks, it's aged terribly. Except it's what that's not the point, mate. He seems to think that cancel culture is criticism when it's not. You can criticize jokes all you want, but it's when you start going after people for it because you're a little weirdo that's clearly never been watched any comedy. But if you're saying something terrible, you're saying something. It's like, what? The amount of terrible things that comedians say because it's in a form of comedy. It'd be different if they just walked up on the stage and said something terrible and that was it. Even if the joke wasn't, even if the joke was shit, then it's still in the realm of comedy. But these people, man. They live in the realm of absolute fantasy. Well, that's my thoughts on that. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.